Hi, it's John Whelan, and welcome back to my How's the Delray Beach Real Estate Market Update for December 2023. We have a few things to discuss today. Number one, inventory or the number of listings is surging higher. But number two, why interest rates are now once again the elephant in the room. And number three, let's take a look at the median and average sold prices and how they compared year over year. Let's get started. So to start, let's take a look at inventory here in Delray Beach. Take a look at the first chart. You can see here that in August, inventory bottomed at around 997 units, and today, in end of December, it's at 1,463 units. That's a rise over 4 months of 46%. That's creating a lot of shifts in the local economy and particularly local real estate market. And that coincides with what's happening here in the greater South Florida market. Take a look at this. I wrote back on December 20th in my weekly e-letter at the bottom, inventory had been up 15 weeks in a row, or in 8 weeks, which is November and December, inventory rose by over 6,700 units. But things changed. In my first week e-letter to my audience, take a look what I wrote on January 3rd, that inventory, it was the first week in 19 weeks that supply was down by falling more than 1,386 units. That's the first time we've seen a turn down since August, and a drastic turn down at that. So the big question is this a new trend that's happening in the local market with inventory? Are we starting to now see demand with lower interest take effect? Well, we're going to be taking a look at that in just a few minutes. But first, if you'd like to get your hands on my weekly e-letter, it's free. My link is down below. Just give me your contact information. I'll shoot the first one out to you right away. Now let's take a look at a few charts that I've been adding into this monthly update for the last few months. Hope you like those. Let's take a look at the first one. This is the number of homes sold. And before I talk about that, nationally, last year was one of the worst years in history in real estate, selling under 4 million units. On an average, the U.S. sells somewhere between 5.5 and 5.8 million units each year. Last year, it was a disaster. That correlates here to the local market. Take a look at this. You can see over the last 2.5 years, it's a general downward trend with a couple spikes in there. But last month, it came in at 197 units, which almost since May, we've had a downward trajectory in the number of units sold. Next chart, take a look, is the average sales price. Of course, when you get smaller numbers to do your calculations, you get outliers like what happened. $689,000 for the average sale price in Delray Beach. There's been a few outliers like that. I look at that number and say, well, it's not really creating a trend or changing the market by any means. So let's take the last data point, which is the days on market. Clearly, there's been trends here as we left 2022 and went into 23. Days on market soared. That's when interest rates were going higher. No one was buying property. Buyers were scared. Sellers were not putting their properties on the market. But now, over the last 8 months, we're starting to see a softening off, kind of a rounding effect in the days on market. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. That's right, 30-year fixed mortgage rates. Take a look at this chart. You can see over the last year to 2 years, rates went up to 8.03%. In the last 2 months, look at the fall, 8.3 down now to 6.65 here in the first week of January 2024. Where will these rates go? We don't know. Of course, the Fed now is talking about easing sometime in the late second quarter of this year. They're saying they might lower the federal funds rate because inflation is now coming down. We've come down from the 9% now into the 3%, which is getting into their zone around 2 to 2.5%. But remember that mortgage rates are not directly correlated to what the Fed says. And whether they want to raise rates or lower rates, normally that's not a correlation. What is the 10-year Treasury yield. So take a look at this chart. This goes back and looks at the 5-year trend. On the left side is the 10-year Treasury, on the right side is the mortgage rates, and you can see that those pretty much go lockstep in correlation over the time frame, and it works even better on the 1-year chart. Take a look at this. On the left side, you can see that's the 10-year yield, around 3.6 it started the year and ended about the same rate at the end of December. Same with mortgage rates, also around 6.6, 6.7 to start 2023 and ending at about the same place. So you can see the correlation is there. Where rates go, I personally believe we're going to see over the next 6 months a softening in rates. To end up, let's take a look at what happened with prices. That's what everyone wants to know, right? Look at this chart. You can see on the far left, it talks about December 2023 versus 22. I want to focus on the column of 2023 year to date. If you go down to median sales price, it clearly is there, $340,000 ending the year versus 22 of 320, which is a 6.25% increase. Now you can look at all this data if you like. A lot of people call me and say, well, that doesn't reflect where I live. I live on the beach. I live near a golf course or in a golf course community. No problem. If you want to know specifically about your neighborhood or your zip code and get more specific data and drill into it, just send me an email. My contact information is down below. Give me a shout. Let me know where you are, and I can drill down to very specific information to show you what's happening in your neighborhood and give you median as well as average pricing. But overall, Delray Beach did pretty good for last year. That's a lot of information. So what does all this mean as we head into January and 2024 for the Delray Beach real estate market? Well, if you weren't here for the holidays, it was packed. Between the parade and the Christmas tree lighting and a lot of the restaurants and specials they had, this place was nuts. Traffic with cars started earlier this high season than normal. Delray Beach has its thing going on right now. It's definitely getting its 15 minutes of fame. Also, some of the developments. You have Sunday Village. You have a lot of developments going on. I'm doing a specific video about this in a couple of weeks about everything that's happening in Delray Beach and what you should know about. Stay tuned for that video. Right now, prices are really good for sellers. Buyers are starting to see rates come down and also inventory rise. That's good for them. I'm getting more homeowners calling me asking for competitive market analysis or home equity reviews. If that's you, thank you very much. There's just a lot of good things going on the macro as well as micro level in the real estate market. Delray Beach could have one of its best or strongest real estate markets it has ever seen in its history. I'm not a doom and gloomer. I like to be looking at information accurately and what it is. I think Delray Beach is going to have a great 2024. I'd love to get your comments. Down below is my comment box. Please leave me some of your thoughts, things that you'd like me to cover. Next month, I'll be back and take a look what happened in January to start 2024. I appreciate your time, and we'll see you next month.